Sit right back, the time is now. Tammy's gonna show you how to cook it up like Mama used to do. Well, she makes it easy, she shows you tricks. Before too long, get all real quick, and the all-star of the kitchen will be you.
Hey y'all, it's Chris and Tammy with Collard Valley Cooks, and today is everything apples. All right, one of the first things I'm going to do today is in my iron skillet, my little 8-inch iron skillet, I'm melting 2 sticks of butter. So we're just letting this melt in here, and it looks really delicious already. Nothing like good old butter. All right, for the cobbler, we're actually going to use 3 different kinds of apples because I bought a bunch of different apples today. Actually, Chris did. And just for fun, we're going to mix it up. Now, if you get an apple that is tart and sweet, like a Golden Delicious or a Honey Crisp, there's no reason to mix your apples. But today we're doing it for fun. We're going to use 1 Honey Crisp, 1 Cosmic Crisp, and 1 Golden Delicious. So we are going to peel these apples, and then we're going to core them and slice them, and then I'll chop them up. So just take you a paring knife and peel your apples, and then you're going to core them. And if you've missed some of the inside peel, just make sure there's no peeling on it. And now we're just going to chop it a little bit to go in our cobbler. And I think I want big pieces of apple, so we're just going to half these. All right, and we're going to get these in our cobbler dish in just a second. All right, I had a few extra apples. I'm going to throw them in here and put just a little bit of lemon juice on them so that they don't turn, and we'll use them for our other apple desserts. So just toss them in a little bit of lemon juice. And I want to tell you guys that our Volume 4 cookbook is now available for sale. All you gotta do is go to the website and click on cookbooks. You definitely want to get this before Thanksgiving so that you can put something good on your Thanksgiving table. Okay, now this is our butter that we melted, and we're going to pour most of it up. I've got a measuring cup right here, and it's a cup of butter, 2 sticks melted. And so I am going to pour off at least a half cup, a little over a half cup. Let's see how much I got here. 2/3 of a cup. So about a 1/3 cup is still in the skillet for our cobbler. And we're going to turn this up, the heat up a little bit. We're going to add our apples. Now, I'm going to cook these apples for quite a few minutes. And they're going to reduce in size a little bit before I put my crust on here. So remember that. I'm going to go ahead and add more apples to it. Okay, and you're just going to simmer these. We're going to add some cinnamon sugar to this. And so let's mix up some cinnamon sugar. All right, we've got some apple pie spice, and I'm going to use that today instead of mixing up the different spices for apple pie. Now, you can use cinnamon and nutmeg if you want to, but I'm just going to use a 1/2 teaspoon, unless you want it real spicy. Do you, Chris?
No.
And we're going to add a 1/2 cup of sugar. And I'm also going to add some lemon peel. Now, of course, this is optional. Some of y'all won't have this, but I'm going to put a good teaspoon in there of lemon peel. And we're going to mix this up. Now, I'm going to put just a little bit of flour in it because you want it to thicken a little bit. So let's put in 2 tablespoons of flour. And just give that a good mix. Now, if you like it really spicy, add some more. But we like it with just a hint of spice so you can still taste the apples. I'm going to taste it and see what I think. Perfect. Delicious. Now it's heaping, so you got to be careful when you're cooking it. This is an 8-inch iron skillet. And these apples will cook down. And we're going to be making our other desserts while they just sit here and simmer. And every once in a while, we'll just come back here and stir it up a little bit. There's going to be some liquid in these apples. It's going to come into this and create a syrup. So we're just going to let it sit there and simmer just like that while we make our other desserts. And then we're going to slide them in the oven all at the same time. All right, today I'm going to use some brown sugar because it's got that maple flavor and it's really good with apples. So we're going to use the brown sugar. I am going to add, that's a half cup of brown sugar, and I'm going to add some apple pie spice. Now let me just say this, I'm giving these are going to be smaller recipes so that I don't have to make a whole bunch at one time. So I will give you the full recipe, and then you can use it a little at a time if you want to, like I'm doing, or you can make a large amount, whatever you want to do. All right, you can see how this is simmering in here, and it's on a really low temperature. It's doing really good. Make sure you stir it up because, like, you don't want parts of it to be dry at the bottom, and make sure it's getting plenty of liquid all around the bottom of the skillet. So we're going to need enough crust for the top of our 8-inch skillet. And this is really too big. You want it to be about 1 inch, or at least 3/4 of an inch or so. Really, I'm not going quite big enough, but it'll work. Just try to cut out a circle. Use something as a guide like I'm doing that's going to fit the top of your cobbler. And what we're going to do is I'm actually going to cut some little cutouts just to make it pretty. And we're just going to pick this up and move it on the table so that we can use it on our cobbler in a few minutes. Pie dough has a good bit of oil in it. Now, I love these refrigerated pie doughs, and if you've never used one, boy, do I suggest you give it a try for this holiday season. Now, for this dessert, it's going to need to be cut out in strips. So I'm going to cut these. And you're going to wrap them around the apple. I guess it would make a lot more sense for you to kind of roll it into a tube like this and then roll it out, since you're making long strips instead of a circle. We'll just cut this one in half and use it. We're going to brush these with this butter that we melted. And then we're going to roll an apple up in it. And then we're going to put it in a baking dish. Pour some Sprite on it. And some of this cinnamon sugar we mixed up. Well, it's but apple pie spice and sugar. And this is super simple, easy, fast. Doesn't take long to make. And you can make as many or as little of them as you want to. I think it would be good, y'all, to go ahead and put some of the sugar on here. So I'm just going to pick it up and put a strip on it. Now, like I said, the larger the piece of apple, then the longer the strip needs to be. You can pull it out a little bit like I did that other one, because you kind of want it to go around the apple and just wrap your strip around the apple. Now, a lot of people make something kind of like this with croissant dough, but this is using pie dough. And mine don't look like they're picture perfect or nothing, but that's all right. I'm going to put just a little bit of butter down in here, and we're also going to use a little Sprite on these. Just make sure you butter the bottom of your dish good, and then lay your little twists in here, and these are going to bake. And we're not going to make a whole bunch more, just enough to fill this up. Turn it off. All right, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of canned cream. Now, when I say something is canned cream, it's evaporated milk. You can use evaporated milk or you can use whipping cream, whichever one you got. and you're just going to pour it. Now these apples should be just at a very low simmer, and you're just going to pour it on top of these and mix this up. And remember, now this is starting to get sticky in the bottom. See the bottom of my spoon? And so all I'm going to do is just let that mix in there a little bit. This is a cobbler, so I wanted just a little bit of milk in it, okay? All right, these are called apple dumplings, and what you're going to do is you're going to make tiny little apple pies. And so what you're going to do is, this is my largest biscuit cutter. It's about 2 inches, I know, at least. And so you're going to cut rounds. Now, if you don't have a 2-inch cutter and you've got a larger cutter, you can make these pies as large as you want to. But they're supposed to be individual servings. So you don't want to make them too big. Okay, you're going to take 2 rounds and put a little flour on the top one, and just take your thumbs and your fingers and kind of pull it gently out. It's really better to do it this way than to use a rolling pin, because a rolling pin, it's hard to keep its shape. And it's just easy to do it this way, okay? So just pull it out so that it's a little bit bigger, see, than that one, because it's got to go over the apples. Then you're going to take something and put a hole in it. Now, I tried to use a cookie cutter and the hole was too big. So your best bet is to use a knife and either do a circle or a triangle or diamond shape, kind of like what I did. That way you've got room to put your marmalade inside the hole, but it's and it's going to work out good. So you're going to need smaller slices of apple to go in here. So if you got a big fat apple, you need to trim it down enough. You got to have enough room around the edge to crimp your edges, okay? So put your apple in there. Make sure you got enough room around it to crimp the edges. Put you some cinnamon sugar on it. I've been putting a tiny bit of butter on it, like that. And you can take that butter and just kind of go around the edge so that when you crimp the edge, it's, you know, going to go together real easy, just like that. And now you're going to take this top piece and kind of guide it right to the center, and then use your fingers and press it around the edges, just like that. And now you're going to crimp it with a fork to make it pretty. So put your fork in a little bit of flour and just use it around the edge like this. To crimp the edge. And of course this apple is going to be juicy and run out of here, but that's fine. You want it to be good and delicious. Now you're going to take some marmalade. This is orange marmalade. You can use strawberry jelly, whatever jelly you like the most. And you're going to press it down inside that hole, just like that. Aren't those cute? Super cute pastries. Super simple and easy to make with a refrigerated pie dough. And boy, look how pretty they are. Time to get this good stuff in the oven. So I'm going to stir my butter up a little bit because we're going to brush these other 2 desserts with butter and put some sugar on them. So let's hop over here. All right, we're just going to brush the tops of these with some butter. And then we're going to put some cinnamon sugar. These are our spicy apple twists, okay? And then here we have our beautiful apple dumplings. I guess I got a little dimple filled with something sweet, you know. And so they're apple dumplings instead of apple dumplings. You can use cinnamon sugar, but of course we used apple pie spice. I know I keep calling it cinnamon sugar, but either one is fine, okay? I think the apple pie makes it even better since we are making apple desserts. And I'm going to put this sugar right on the top of these. And then we're going to pour some Sprite down in the bottom of it with that butter. We're going to put just a little bit of Sprite down in here. And it's going to be according to how many of these you're making, how big your pan is. So I would say make it about 1/4 inch deep in the bottom with Sprite. Now let's get over here and do our delicious cobbler. Chris had a great idea. He said, Tammy, why don't you take the hearts that you cut out of the crust and put down inside the cobbler, and they'll be like little dumplings. So that's what we're going to do. These are our hearts. You can look how delicious this looks. The apples look good, and it's nice and full. So you can tell that even if this was really full of apples, once they cook, it's perfect. So you want them heaping over the top. And this is a cobbler. So it's got that milk in there. And y'all, this is going to be the bomb. Now we're going to put our crust over the top. And try to center it in here. Let's put that cobbler in the back. Because it's in that skillet. We'll do it like that. All right. There's the little pies. When you're using aluminum, it bakes faster. That's why your biscuits bake up quick. And these little pies got really brown fast compared to our cobbler and the other twists. Now, the pan that we are cooking the twists in is oven resistant up to 500 degrees. So you can't cook at a higher temperature in this bakeware. And Chris can pronounce the name better than I can.
Emile Henri.
Yes, it's made in France with all natural materials, and it is on our bakeware section on the website. And while this is baking, I want to tell you guys that our Volume 4 cookbook is now available for sale. All you gotta do is go to the website and click on cookbooks. This is our Volume 4. It's brand new. So many of you have not got it. And on the back you can see my mama and me. And there are just a few color pictures. And then most of it is in black and white. It's large print, so it's easy to use and read. And you can actually see the index online and see what's in this cookbook. Our famous apple fritters are in it. The earthquake cake is in here. The lemon gooey butter cake is in here. It's just got a lot of good recipes. It took twice as long to bake these as it really should have because I used this thick baking dish. Really, if you made these with an aluminum pan like we did the little pies, they would bake up much quicker. I'm going to put them right here and show you how they look. And I really think that you could get by without the Sprite, but I'm sure it makes them more like a dumpling on the bottom. And maybe that's what makes them taste so good. But they're not like little pies that you're going to be able to pick up and eat. Okay? So you've got your spicy apple twists, your delicious apple dumplings with the orange marmalade, and oh my goodness, look at this cobbler. And yes, it boiled over in the oven and we had the fire alarms going off. So if you make this and you feel it as full as I did, you might want to put a pan under it, okay, to catch the drippings. What an apple dapple day, right? Hey, these are going to be delicious, but they didn't stay together well. They're similar to the apple dish that everybody makes with Sprite and canned croissants, but with pie crust. They're really delicious, of course. They got a nice crunch on the top.
I think if you just wrap them more, you know, like you just had more dough around them, that it would work out better.
Yeah. Maybe we just didn't put enough dough around them. All right, this cobbler is going to be fantastic. To me, it'd probably be the best thing we made. But really, all of it's buttery and good. You can't beat a cobbler. Man, that's good. And then these little pies right here you can pick up. So this is the best thing if you're going to serve it like an appetizer. And you could even cut these in half and serve a half. I believe you could cut them pretty easy. But boy, me and Chris have already tasted one and they're so good. I'll open them for you. You can see that jam in there. You got 2 apples with the jam. Don't that look good? Use any jam you want. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. To me, this is the best thing to use if you're going to do it like an appetizer. Super tasty, and that'd be good cold or hot with some whipping cream. The cobbler, you can't beat. And the twists are good too. And they're sticky and they're crunchy on the top. So you got 3 different things that you can make. And I hope you've enjoyed the video today. And we're going to enjoy this cobbler with some ice cream. Mmm. Boy, that's good. Y'all have a wonderful day. And buy you some delicious fall apples and make you some delicious fall desserts with apples. Y'all tell me what your favorite apple dessert is that your mama made. That would be awesome. Thanks for watching Collard Valley Cooks, where we cook like our mamas did. See you next time, and don't forget that Volume 4 cookbook is ready.
Cooking time, it's over now. Tammy, she just showed you how to cook it up like Mama used to do. So go on out and have some fun. Now you're getting dinner done with Collard Valley Cooks, your #1.
Hey y'all, it's Chris and Tammy with Collard Valley Cooks, and today is everything apples.
Collard Valley Cooks, we're getting dinner done now. Collard Valley Cooks, hey, we're having fun.